Folks, welcome to the Phoenix Business Exchange, a East End edition. And it's August 30th. So welcome to fall. If you haven't noticed the leaves, they're starting to change. But first off, we're going to have some words of wisdom from Mike. Mike, over to you, sir.
Great. Thank you, Bernie. Morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. All right. So I want to reiterate and go through how we can become the best Phoenix member possible. So the very first thing, as I spoke about many times, is just showing up at a meeting. Why? What the rationale there is that it shows your fellow members and Tony, the founder of the organization, your respect for each and every one. If you can't make a meeting, get yourself a substitute. And when you have a substitute, keep in mind a couple of things. Number one is let the president of the chapter know who your substitute is so that they can give them a warm welcome. And also very important, when you give a script for your substitute to read, make sure that you keep it simple. We all know what you do. We don't want to make it complicated for your substitute and put them under pressure. We want them to have fun. And another nice thing that I've seen in the past with substitutes is they get a sense of what a networking meeting is. Maybe they never had been to a networking meeting, and it could expose them to another way of opening up possible referrals for their business. And also they might be able to know somebody in the chapter by going, wow, you know what? I could use those services. I was looking for that. So that could be a possible referral. And number three, we also know that life, gets in the way. Sometimes we wake up in the morning all set to go, and all of a sudden you get that call or that email or that what have you, and it's just, I can't make it. Do yourself a favor, in the chapter a favor, just let the president know that, something came up in life. We get it. They'll relay that message that so-and-so couldn't make it today because of they're going through something. And what that shows the other members is the caring that the member has for their membership. And again, it's all under the umbrella of respect. And so visibility is credibility. So that's that part of it. Also, the next part of the education for Phoenix for the betterment of the Phoenix members and Tony, the founder, is September and January are the best times that entrepreneurs, business people start to think about, wow, you know what, summer's over. I got to get back into business a little bit more, and I'm looking forward to expand my awareness out there so that I can get some more business. And so I have a script here, if anybody ever needs it, to send to a potential Phoenix member. And the first thing that we need to know is that we're doing a potential Phoenix potential member a favor here. And the steps are, let's say, for example, you want to invite a florist. Key, don't beg and seem desperate. Hey, we're part of this group, and hey, you should join this. This is really good, or what have you. Instead, try, I'm part of a referral group that meets online on a regular basis. And currently we are interviewing florists to give all our referrals to. And we think that you might make a great candidate. Would you be interested to join 2 Phoenix online networking sessions at no charge to sample the value that we deliver? And I like this part. If you're not interested or have other commitments at that time, then would you know one of your business competitors that would like to increase their business through proven referrals that you can recommend me, which I can then reach out to them right away to fill this category? And another part of this is quite I like it too, is when you are going to invite somebody that you know or might not know, promote a member in your chapter. So for instance, here's an example of a solid, so you would write, here's one example of our solid professional longstanding Phoenix members, exchange members, which is in the circle and sphere of businesses that you can do. So for example, meet Sam Sturris from Connected Cars. With your business of business of security and alarms for vehicles or what have you, there would be some really good synergy here. And so looking forward from hearing from you, and thank you for your consideration in this simple and professional way of building business referrals for your business. And important though, if you do mention somebody, then there should be a little bit of a policy. So if you're promoting a fellow Phoenix member to a potential Phoenix member, it might be good to ask the Phoenix member that you're promoting, is it all right to do so? Rationale. Your fellow member, let's say Sam in this case, might not like, for whatever reason, that potential member or had past dealings, that individual just doesn't work out for him. And basically, it's risk management is the way to go on this. So these little scripts I have, if you know, again, to reiterate, September is a great time to reach out to invite potential Phoenix members and invite them into our chapter and let them shine. Okay, that's today's share.
Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And we're going to start off with doing our intros. And Joanne, over to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Joanne with Eastern Ottawa Resource Center. You all know us by now. We are a nonprofit organization providing social services to individuals in need in the all areas of Ottawa, from Cumberland all the way to the West End, for certain of our services. And this time of year, we're very busy with back to school, providing full backpacks and essential needs to underprivileged families to have their kids all ready for school. We served over 100 children with all the essentials that they need, and that's in great part thanks to fundraising opportunities that we have to help fill those school bags for our clients, and such as the golf tournament that's coming up. We will be using those funds for our clients next year. So thank you, Joanne with Eastern Ottawa Resource Center.
Joanne, thank you so much. And just as a quick aside, folks, I just posted the Facebook and LinkedIn Live post links in the chat. So make sure to put your details and information and anything you want to update in those chats. Thank you very much. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Sam Suris, connectedcars.ca, also known as Dashcam Sam. Well, let's talk about dash cameras today. Just in case you aren't aware, they aren't made all the same. You know, they're just not the same. You have to know a little bit about the qualities of them, some features well, they have lots of features, but there's two main ones that I like to talk about today. And the one is the quality of the lenses. And you can go and buy a dash camera from many places, and well, if all you can do is identify a gray Corolla that hit you, there's probably 1,000 of those in your neighborhood. No, that's no good. You got to have lenses that can actually see and identify the license plate on it, both daytime and nighttime. So that's a very important feature of a dash camera. Another feature is called parking mode. And that's when your car is actually parked at a mall or any parking lot. And it actually comes on when the vehicle is been hit or someone comes close to it. Those are two main features that I make sure that when I recommend a dash camera that they have. So if you're interested in something like that, or you know someone that is, give me a referral. Sam Sturris, connectedcars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and much more.
Sam, thank you so much. Susan Ebbs.
Good morning, everyone. I represent a company called Melaleuca.com, and we look after your cleaning needs. I'd like to introduce you to Tough and Tender today. It comes in a spray bottle where you only use a little bit and add water to the rest. And then there's these handy wipes. You can just put those on the dash of your car. That's one use for your Tough and Tender. Rub it on the dash of the car. Guess what? There's a really good use for it. You know how your pots and pans get dirty and, well, not dirty, but they turn brown and ucky on the bottom? Well, Tough and Tender can take care of that. The beauty of Tough and Tender, there's no chemicals, no phthalates, no chlorine bleach, and it's concentrated. So you're going to save yourself money, and we're going to decrease the amount of bottles in the environment. Susan Ebbs, Total Renewal with Melaleuca.com.
Susan, thank you so much. And Mike, over to you.
Okay, thank you, Bernie. So Mike from Full Stride Mentoring and Coaching Program. Essentially what I do is I help individuals manage their thoughts and emotions for their well-being. And the Full Stride Mentoring Program really grounds an individual on what's essential in their life, like their family, friends, community, and so on. And also the Full Stride Mentoring and Coaching Program also supports entrepreneurs and businesses on focusing on what is essential in their business growth and what they personally want to achieve. The Full Stride Mentoring and Coaching Program also supports if you have employees that you provide training for to keep them happy and focused. So I'll send each, it's best if I send each individually my program. It shows the pricing and the rollout, how it works. So if you know somebody, then please send it to them and simply just tell them, you know, if they like what they see, to give me a call. We'll have a discussion. And there's absolutely no pressure tactics applied by myself. And just to note that I do not have a website. I only depend on word of mouth referrals. And also important to know, for every referral inside or outside that a Phoenix member provides Full Stride Mentoring and Coaching Program, I will donate 25% of the total fee to Tony's charity of choice, Joanne at Eastern Ottawa Resource Center, in your name. So keep in mind, the power of the mind is greater than the problem.
Mike, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Penny Lee.
Good morning, Penny Lee Prevost, the Dancing Motivator and co-founder of the Graduate Thrivers Incorporated. Today, I'd like to talk about Graduate. We have a monthly strategy session that we offer to entrepreneurs in order for them to have a group of people that they can bounce ideas off of. It's really a brainstorming session. I like to call it a think tank. And we come up with some really great solutions and perspectives because we all come from different walks of life and have had different experiences. And so the reason I'm talking about that is because we do our monthly session the last Tuesday of the month, which happened last night. We had a phenomenal session, and we are actually moving into the next 3 sessions. So the next 3 months is our strategy session to set you up for success in 2024. Would love to have you come and check it out. Or if you know anybody who is a relatively new entrepreneur that would look like affordable guidance, that's what we offer at our monthly strategy session. So at Graduate is where success takes flight.
Thank you, Penny Lee. Dave, over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Dave Beliveau from Beliveau Scully Frozen Foods, and today I'd like to talk to you about Wagyu beef. And I'm sure everybody has gone to the fast food places there lately. And for 2 people now, it's over $30. I remember when it was like $5-10 when they first started out. When I was a young kid, there it's just like craziness. So anyway, if you wanted to experience Wagyu beef, I suggest doing the ground chuck chub I have for sale for $100. It's $20 a pound. You can make 14 almost 5.75 ounce burgers out of it. It works out to about $7 a burger. But I tell you, once you start eating that and it's melting in your mouth and it's fluffy and it's just great, when you go back to a regular burger, it's like, holy shit, this thing's tough. So anyway, I just want to say, when you break it down and you go out to fast food compared to what I can offer at your home, it's a great deal. Anyway, that's my advice for you this week. And thank you very much. We deliver quality.
Dave, thank you so much. Tony, over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Bernie. I got a call from our newest member, Deirdre. She's on holiday. She should be here next week, but I just wanted to play her video if that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
And here's Deirdre.
Good morning. My name is Deirdre Jorson. I'm an interior designer here in Ottawa, and I've been working in the design build industry for the last 19 years. And recently, starting with COVID, went out on my own, and it was the perfect opportunity. COVID made me do it. So I've been not only assisting contractors and developers to create design packages and finished interior spaces for their clients, but also working with clients directly who have approached me for interior design services, everything from kitchen and bathroom redesign to additions, new home offices, home gyms, full custom build design, or just an interior selection package. So my service is really quite extensive and has been able to benefit the mid-range to high-end homeowner here in Ottawa. So Eastborough Designs is the name of my company, and you can find me on Instagram as well as my website, which I will post all the information in the chat. And that's it for me.
Just gonna grab the timer. Okay, here we go. Hi everybody, Tony Jennings from Hire Yourself. I'm the spirit guy of the group. I had an incredible session there with a client yesterday. The first thing they had mentioned, they were complaining of vertigo and a number of other loss of energy sort of things going on. And I have a basement studio that I have, and he had a hard time coming down the stairs. He was making sure that he wouldn't trip or fall because he's very unstable, and I helped him down the stairs. I worked on him for about an hour and a half, and at the end, he was beating me up the stairs. He was just doing one after the other, going up the stairs. So I says, okay, don't overdo it. One of the things about energy is that it's on the surface when you first get that healing. But if you spend it by doing physical exertion, it's like a flu when you get sort of starting to get better and you spend it right away. You're supposed to just let the energy settle, and then all that extra energy goes inward to do more healing for you. Then it's more sustainable. So you want to hear more? Tony Jennings from Hire Yourself, where we're here to raise your spirits.
Tony, thank you so much. My name is Bertie Fransgrote from Creative Insight Consultants. I help connect businesses between other spaces. So I travel the universe at large as much as I can, and I run into interesting people, and I try to connect them with what I think is the best fits for them to help them support their endeavors, or they can support someone else. The other thing I do is I have a podcast called Knack for Business, and it's talking to those folks and talking about the journey traveled and the golden nuggets they have for them. Also, the Property Wizard, where I'm a co-host, is another podcast I'm involved with, and it's about commercial real estate investment. And just to wrap it up, golf tournament. You've heard it enough. And by the way, after September 14th, you won't hear me talking about golf tournament, but it's on the 14th. And if you want to play, the links are in there, and you'll see some more push on the promos. If you want to participate, great. If you want to send swag this way, participation for the to promote yourself. We're looking for 4 units of whatever swag you want to do. And if you want to help support Joanne and you have something like a gift basket piece, let us know and we'll work it out. And of course, the World Referral Network, free to join, 1,000 people plus. And we also have a Phoenix group inside that space. Again, free to post content in the group and at large. And with that all said, our speaker today is Miss Tanya. Tanya, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Bernie. Hello, everybody. So my name is Tanya Hewitt from Beyond Safety Compliance, meaning that I do have a lot of experience in the changing world of safety. One of the things that safety has adopted more recently has been the 5 principles of human performance. And what I'd like to do is share a video with you to explain what these 5 principles are. Let me just get that ready. My apologies, I just have to close a few things here.
As a service note, folks, Zoom has been putting out service updates. So remember to update your Zoom, not now, later on, but do your Zoom updates. Over to you, Tanya. It's showing.
Human and organizational performance, the 5 principles in action. In this video, we'll first look at an incident on a common work site. Then we'll briefly cover the 5 principles of human and organizational performance and see how their implementation improves safety. You'll see how small changes can lead to dramatically different results. It is 3 p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon and a pre-job meeting is underway. The leaders are discussing an upcoming job to lay gravel on a muddy lot next to an above-ground piping system at an industrial chemical facility. The next morning, the crew arrives at the work site ready to lay the gravel. Sanjay, the supervisor, refers to some notes he made on a piece of paper and goes through the job specifics with his team. Sanjay mentions the importance of getting this done quickly and on time. One of the workers brings up the short daylight window. Sanjay states, "Non-issue, you will be done by dark." He then asks the team if they have any other questions, and no one speaks up. The crew are ready to go as they have done this type of job before. The team gets to work. Helena, the gravel truck driver, begins to raise the box and moves forward slowly to lay down the gravel. As she drives, some gravel gets stuck at the top of the box. Jack, who is spotting the job, shouts to alert Helena. Hearing Jack shout and gesture, Helena brakes suddenly and lets out a sigh of disappointment. She then remembers a quick workaround she has used before to get the job done. Helena puts her idea into motion, accelerating and braking, advancing the truck forward quickly, slamming the tailgate to dislodge the stuck gravel. She keeps her focus on her side view mirror, expecting to see the gravel dislodge. But the truck box contacts a communication line, bringing down a pole that crashes between the cab and the truck bed. Frustrated and worried about the repercussions, Jack and Helena both start to blame themselves and silently each other for the incident. Sanjay pulls the team together and announces he has to record the incident as a damage to property incident. Sanjay indicates to Jack and Helena that more paperwork is not what he needs. The next day, the entire team sits in a lessons learned meeting to review what went wrong. The discussion focuses on what Jack and Helena should have done, rather than understanding the circumstances surrounding what actually happened. Sanjay is frustrated and once again stresses the importance of staying focused and paying attention. We can all agree that this is not an ideal scenario. Now, let's take some time to briefly go over the 5 principles of human and organizational performance, or HOP. 1. Error is normal. Recognizing that human errors in a work environment are not a violation, but rather opportunities to learn. Employees need to be empowered to adapt to the challenges of everyday work. 2. Blame fixes nothing. We realize that blaming is a natural human response that improves nothing, and therefore, we focus our energy on learning from our errors. 3. Context drives behavior. It's important to design systems that support our workers in accomplishing their tasks in a safe manner by understanding the context of their work to identify weaknesses in our systems and suggest improvements. 4. Learning and improving is vital. Focusing on continuous learning and improvement, which plays a vital role in establishing robust safeguards to allow our systems to fail safely. 5. Leadership response matters. Leadership's response to failure builds or breaks a learning culture. Leaders must create an environment that allows employees to learn without fear of retribution. Simple responses such as, "What can we learn from this?" empowers employees to learn. Now let's reimagine this job using the 5 principles of HOP. This time, Sanjay unites the team for a pre-job walkthrough on site. He points out the known hazards on site, including the soft ground, the overhead wires nearby, and the above-ground piping. He also addresses the underground services concern raised and affirms it has been cleared. He encourages the team to take their time to ensure the job is completed properly and safely. If it looks like the work will carry on into the evening, then portable light towers can be brought in. He then asks the team for their comments or further concerns and gives them time to inspect the site. Nathalie, the dozer operator, is concerned about contact with the nearby surface pipes and asks if A-frame barriers can be erected. Sanjay agrees and makes a note to bring them in. Helena raises a concern about the overhead communication line and suggests placing caution tape beneath the line to be a visual reminder of the hazard. Sanjay makes another note to have caution tape installed. Here, we see the HOP principle of context drives behavior in action. In this scenario, the pre-job walkthrough actively involves workers so they recognize the hazards in their environment, agree how to mitigate them, and collaborate on how to execute the job safely. Sanjay's willingness to listen to workers, take action, and empower them to solve problems creates an environment that encourages learning and adaptation if something unplanned were to happen. As in the previous scenario, the gravel gets unexpectedly stuck at the top of the truck bed. Jack alerts Helena as before. However, when Helena learns of the problem, she lowers the truck box and gets out to assess the situation. As she begins to climb into the box, Jack engages Helena to point out, without a ladder and mud on her boots, this creates a slipping hazard. Even in the best approach to this job, we see the principle of error is normal. All humans make mistakes, even the most experienced workers. Helena is trying to solve a problem, however, the box doesn't have safe access. Sanjay joins Jack and Helena to look at the situation. Instead of dictating a solution to them, he invites Jack and Helena to share their ideas. Helena mentions the maneuver she has used before, which Sanjay likes, but Jack raises a concern about the overhead lines and the potential to contact them. Helena then suggests shoveling out the gravel. She, Sanjay, and Jack discuss and agree on this solution. Sanjay offers to provide a ladder from his truck for easy and safe access. The team is demonstrating the principle of learning and improving is vital. Every challenge, error, and unexpected hazard or condition is an opportunity to learn and improve for the sake of both safety and the quality of the work. It is key to remember that operational learning, where the team learns on the job, is far more powerful than retrospective learning, such as an incident investigation. Operational learning responds to unexpected hazards and conditions as they arise, potentially avoiding or mitigating the negative consequences of an incident. Getting back to the scenario, Helena places the ladder securely on the lowered box of the truck. Jack and Helena clear the stuck gravel with shovels. And then Helena can release the last of the gravel out of the back of her truck without advancing forward. In comparison with the first scenario, we don't see any blaming or finger pointing here. That's because blame fixes nothing, another principle of HOP. We can see the importance of Sanjay encouraging his team to have an open conversation about managing potential hazards and sharing solutions. Learning and improving is vital. With the job complete and the day drawing to a close, we join the team back at the shop. Sanjay leads a post-job debrief to discuss the unexpected hazards and conditions encountered and how the team adapted on the job. He asks the team how they might carry forward what they learned to better design the process. Jack suggests making sure a ladder is available for future jobs. Helena recommends improved controls for overhead hazards and installing a plastic liner in the truck bed to prevent gravel and mud from sticking in the box. Sanjay appreciates Jack and Helena's ideas and suggests a further improvement, that the ladder be installed on the side of the vehicle and others in the fleet. Nathalie joins in and suggests ensuring that the ladders used in future have a wide and deep tread to ensure people can safely use them even in muddy or wet conditions. This is an example of the principle leadership response matters. Sanjay's approach engages workers and empowers them to find solutions to safety challenges. It frames challenges encountered on the job as opportunities to learn and improve.
Zapier's automation is the easiest way to efficiently grow your business and get a lead from a campaign.
So that's a short and sweet introduction to the 5 principles of human and organizational performance.
Anybody have any questions for Tanya?
Yes, I have one. Tanya?
Sure, Mike.
Okay, thank you. So let's say, for instance, what is the ideal referral for you when you're looking at these companies to, show them your risk management of what potentially could go wrong. But let's say if I'm on the golf course and I'm having a conversation and there's a businessman that has whatever business, 20, 30 employees or what have you, what is a good start with like an introduction to like at your business? Do you do safety compliance? And if you do you have someone that helps you out on that? If not, I have someone in my, what would you suggest is a good what I call a grabber statement, where the person actually stops because you say something and then they can respond, to open up a dialogue?
So if the people on the golf course are in the senior management area and they are complaining about workers just not doing their job, workers not paying attention, where can you get good help these days, all of this kind of thing, those are all trigger statements to allow these kinds of principles and the host of other things that I can bring to the table to, if they're willing to listen. Because if they are stuck in their ways and they just want to stay with the same old, then it doesn't really matter who talks to them. It's not going to get through.
So just to be clear, golf course or any type of business or what have you, I think the number one problem with the COVID hangover that we're going through is human resources. And so you're saying that at the human resources, if it's not set up properly, there could be risk with those employees, depending whatever types of jobs that they do?
Actually, I was when I was preparing for this, I was looking at some Deming videos to see if maybe this stuff from, well, what was it, the 40s might be of relevance. It's not human resources. A lot of people say it's human resources. Deming is very clear. No. Same with Pat Lencioni. It is senior leadership. I can remember when I was listening to a podcast that Todd Conklin was doing. He's another person in the safety space who had, during COVID, talked to some CEOs, okay, like the C-suite of leaders, CROs, like CFOs, who were saying, oh, well, we don't know what to do. Like we're captured in this thing. And he said, what are you talking about? You run the company. Like if you're going to play the victim card as being the leader, then who's leading? Like it's the senior leadership, not HR. It's the senior leadership that sets the direction in an organization. And if they are not willing to take on that responsibility of running the company, then that's a different conversation. And it's an important one that should be taking place. And by the way, these principles of human and organizational performance, while they are being taken up in oil and gas and construction, they're really applicable to anybody. I start with, so what is disaster for you? What is the worst thing that could possibly happen in your world? Just to answer your question, Mike, one of the Shane Bush he did work in HR, and he said that they sent out an offer letter to the wrong candidate, got the name wrong. That is a disaster in HR.
Yeah.
And that is just as significant as an explosion at a power plant in that field. And these principles of human and organizational performance can be applied in that kind of context.
So Tanya, here's a question, and it's regarding the shifting. In other words, the owners have a business box, right? They have all the things going on. There are different elements, everything from how to avoid the explosion, or having gravel flying off, or doing a wrongful hiring process, or not having the right hiring process. How do they drift from, drift is the wrong word, but how do they migrate from, we're not 100% to let's make this better? So what are the steps, or who do they come see you to help that drift happen or that change happen?
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of ways to get into this. YouTube is a fantastic resource if people are willing to look at a few videos. there are lots and lots of conferences that are now devoted to this. This human and organizational performance down to 5 principles is fairly recent, but recent being like 10 years. But the whole move in safety from the where's your hard hat, I'm writing you up kind of thing, that kind of movement is, when I start really digging into it, it's about 80 years old. So it's a little shocking that people who are getting their certifications right now are still trained in that kind of mentality. But there's a lot of pushback against that now. So there's all sorts of resources, Bernie, to start talking. I have a bookshelf full of stuff to be able to.
So if I'm taking it right and considering that, unless of course you identify the problem as the owner or the business or your team that's running the company, perhaps they should reach out to you and start them on the journey at Beyond Safety Compliance.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Are there any other questions?
Well, I had one question that was just a continuation of what Mike was talking about. If the person says, well, what can this person do for me? I would, what would I say? Would you do the initial, I guess, meeting to the senior management? And then from there, you can find out whether or not you're going to do a group meeting or a huddle or whatever the case is, because they're more than likely going to be more than one department. It's not just manufacturing or just design, or, there might be a large group, and then maybe they might be able to identify the problems in each of those departments, which might relate to the same thing. And so would you do that? Is that something that you do?
Yes. So if the senior leadership is willing to undertake a conversation, we'll see if there's a fit, because, if there's no fit, then it's probably not worth pursuing. But if the senior leadership does take this stuff seriously and wants to start changing the culture of their organization to allow a lot of the people below them to feel accepted and valued, then absolutely, I'd love to have a conversation with them. A lot of the management training out there, historically, I think it is changing. I think business schools are a lot of why we are where we are. A lot of the way we promote people are why we are where we are. But I think a lot of this is beginning to change. Maybe it was COVID that started to get this stuff to unstick. A lot of people who went through the system feel as though they're owed something, though. Well, wait a minute, I had to do this, so other people are going to have to go through what I had to go through, because, otherwise, what does that say about my experience? That's worth a conversation as well, because the fact that, the sands have shifted below you does not mean that everybody's going to follow the path you did to get to where you are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So initially I thought you were sort of an HR person on the outside, but I see now you're more overseeing everything. So maybe they might not even have an HR if it's a small company, because you need a designated person to do just HR, right? Or they might be part of a bookkeeper and HR, depending on who they are. So you would go in and help that person. Is that the idea?
So there are a bunch of different levels in order for this kind of stuff to take place. Leadership is the best place. And, really, it's probably not the first conversation, but a conversation is, why are you the CEO? Like, what got you there? Because a lot of people believe that leadership is a reward. And if the reward-centric focus is how they are leading, that's a huge problem. Leadership is responsibility. And if that responsibility-centric focus is not how they see how they lead, that's a big deal. And that is the core of all of this stuff. And once they get into a responsibility-centric leadership focus, then a whole bunch of things can start to move, and actually very quickly.
Yeah. I also see that the people that are CEOs that dad gave me this position because he owns the company. And that second generation, that's where the problem happens, because that's when they make these outrageous goals and put huge financial investments into things. And if they don't pan out, I've seen companies that have been around for like 50 years and give it to their kids, and then they only have it for 5 years and it's done. You know, so yeah, because there's such a huge amount of changes, and they don't look at those things. So yeah, so how they got there, that might have just been given to them, or because they should run it the way it's been run. That's what kept them going. But so okay, so you put yourself in that area. So that's a good question, Mike. Thank you for just to find out how we can help Tanya that way.
So, folks, if you need Tanya to help you in your business, let her embed inside your business, and she will help straighten and guide your ship down the right path. And we're going to move us along because we're at the quarter two mark. And so some stuff to just to remind you, there is some links that I've just posted in the chat: LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., YouTube. If you haven't clicked on that space, please do so. And what are we looking for inside Phoenix? Well, the winning lottery ticket numbers are always handy, but in reality, what we're looking for are home and alarm security systems, travel agent, appraiser, interior designer. Actually, we do have an interior designer, but the other groups don't have interior designers. Event planner, landscaper, gardener, house cleaner, gift basket company, photographer, legal firm, either both family and or business law, sign maker, swag and promotional sales and goods, men's and women's clothing retailer, plumber, and a mobile hairdresser. Penny, is there anybody else we're looking for right now that you know about?
Nope, that's a good list so far.
That's a good list. You just hang on, but there's more. But wait. So the other kind of a really important thing, just as a reminder, we're going to talk about BAMs in a few seconds, business activity meetings, is that if you're having a BAM and you're doing it online, record it, share this snippet with Tony so we can post it, and or it can, if let's say you're having a BAM with Tanya to understand more about business and how to improve your business, record part of it. You don't have to record the salient parts, but talk about stuff, right? And share that information. If you're going to a restaurant or another establishment, take pictures of yourself, send myself or Tony the photographs, or post it on social media and tell us that you posted on social media, and we'll provide a churn to it so it comes into the Phoenix LinkedIn page and Facebook page. I'm just going to share my calendar of events that are coming up, and you should be seeing something going up and running right now. And so it's been a steady week. Yoga and Manitic's been happening. I think that's the last call for it yesterday. Full moon today. East End Groups meeting, which we all know about because we're here. Moving to Heal. Well, that's with Lee. And a beach day. So if you want, you go down to the Rivera and between 2 and 4 and enjoy a beach day. South End Group meets tomorrow, same time, same channel. Look at that. Penalty's got you moving around again now from 10 to 11. And moving to Heal. Tune in with Tony on Friday. Saturday, 613 Flea Markets down at Lansdowne. And the Taste Sweet Life is in action in that space. It's free to attend. Parking might not be free, but it's free to show up. So just check it out. The link is in the inside the profile, and they do that on a regular basis. Oh, look, next week it's looking pretty quiet. So, and you notice Dave's usually on Mondays. Dave's not doing that on Labor Day. He's probably enjoying his own personal time off. After Hours Group is meeting September 5th in the evening from 7 to 8. It's free to attend for all of our members. Great way to set up goals. So if you need objectives to be met, you're off to the races. Tony's tuning us again on Friday, on September 8th. Back to normal September 11th, Bell's Corners Group. So if you want to have a BAM with Dave, and in fact, if you do, take some photographs when you're there. He will cook you a slice of heaven. Either it's going to be beef, poultry, fish, or pork. There might be other stuff, but hey, who knows? East End Groups meeting again, and the usual stuff. Oh, look at that. September 14th. What could be happening September 14th? I probably have said it once too often, but there we are. We're busy from 2 to 6 p.m. Tuning in with Tony. Beck with Vibe and Thrive. That's another event through Taste Sweet Life group, and that's out in Beckwith. Details coming up. And the other heads up point is Beyond Safety Compliance is happening on the 20th. And I almost forgot, weekly chair yoga with Jacqueline. It's online and it is from 9:30 to 10:30. And then we have on the 23rd, the Autumn Spiritual Workshop, and that's with Jacqueline, and the HeartLink Network on the 23rd. And that you talk to Susan Ebbs if you want some more details. And I'm going to stop sharing. And now over to what's been going on in our universe here. Let's see. We've had 351 referrals, 348 BAMs. Again, BAM is a business activity meeting between members. Year-to-date transactions between members is $201.5 thousand worth of business between the members doing business worth. Over the last 7 years, $4.5 million has been generated, and we've done about 6,902 referrals. E-cards, that's the another key piece. So using that QR code or posting your e-card link on either email, your LinkedIn, any other forms of communication, it provides a soundbite, a visual soundbite of all your information in one quick shot. It's a snapshot, right? And so people can see and go, and they can reach you. It's frictionless. You know, once they get there, they can hit, oh, I want to call Mike at 2 a.m. Let's not call Mike at 2 a.m, but 2 p.m, okay? And you can hit a button and go from there. I'm gonna kind of wrap up from this piece and turn it back over to you guys to say, hey, what's been happening in your week? And we will start off with Sam.
Thank you, Bernie. I wasn't expecting being called first, but thank you. Appreciate that. First of all, Tanya, very good presentation today. I agree at 100% that blame is natural, but solves nothing, and that's very common in any situation when an accident happens at work, especially when someone gets injured. Blame is the first thing that people look for, but it solves absolutely nothing. So thank you very much for that presentation today. Things going on. Well, I'm waiting on some cleaning product from Susan Ebbs that I ordered, and I continue to advertise for Alex or Evolta. In fact, I just installed a dash camera yesterday and provided the information with the receipt in case they ever wanted to buy an EV. That's it.
Perfect. Dave, over to you, sir.
Hi, everyone. I had a good week. If you check out, I'll show you this. I went to the Evolta. I don't think you can see it. No, you can't see it. I Googled a review for Evolta for Alex, and I gave him a 5-star review. They came in on budget, and they were always there when they promised they'd be there, and I can't complain. I've had a lot of people come do work at my house, and there's always been a quote, and then we want more money. But they held their quote, and that's all you ask. And what can you ask for more? So the other thing I did was I don't know if you see this, but that's for the golf tournament. It's not in color, but I'm going to send it to you, Bernie. I'm going to give you 4 of those for the golf tournament. So, and news for myself personally, there's no meeting next week, but I am gone to Europe for 3 weeks on a river cruise with my spouse. We're celebrating 35 years of putting up with each other, and I'll be in Dracula's castle when the golf tournament's on. I'll be at Vlad the Impaler's place. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll see you guys in October.
Dave, thank you. Can you, when you send me those files, can you send me your logo so we can help promote your
yeah, the logo's on there.
Yeah, no, I need it as a separate piece so I can promote it on other things. Your
I
comment.
think I have it on file too there,
Okay.
Bernie. I have it on file.
Okay,
Okay. All right.
perfect. Thank you. Mike, what are you up to?
Well, first of all, I want to say to Tanya, you're to blame for having a great presentation today. It was wonderful, very informative. Thank you for that. And I think me and you are way overdue for a BAM.
Yeah.
And so we'll hopefully can set that up. I got some ideas. And speaking of BAMs, I had an hour and a half BAM yesterday with Susan, and it was great. We met at a coffee shop. We got to talk about life, big picture, our history, and I really got to know her so much better. So that's what I like about BAMs. It's more than just an infomercial, it's about getting to know the person, and then from that sparks ideas. And so thank you, Susan, for that. I'm looking to set up more BAMs.
Thank you so much. And Susan Epps.
How did I know that was coming? Hi, Tanya, great speech, and you emphasized a very good point that the old way was to blame people instead of trying to find out what went wrong and how to fix it. So great speech and very informative. Had a great BAM with Mike. We got to know each other on a personal level, and we were there for a couple hours, an hour and a half, and never took any pictures. Thought about it on the way home. So
That's okay.
next time, Mike. Let's see. I've got ongoing business with Alex and Sam, Penny Lee, and Wendy. And I think I told the other group on Monday there about my long journey to get some product out to Joyce in Timbuktu there, where she lives. And anyways, a nice gentleman stopped to help me with directions. So that's a possible connection. You never know. So ongoing business with Tony, and thank you, Tony, for your excellent meditations. They're really being helpful. So that is it.
I'll send you a new one.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't have a chance.
Did you get that? Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if you
I didn't
did.
have a chance to try it out yet, but that's on tonight's agenda.
Yeah, you have evolved.
Thanks so much, and that's my week. So have a great holiday time.
Susan, thank you so much. Penny Lee, what are you up to?
All righty, so I have had a great week so far. On Friday, I had an opportunity to see Ema. She's actually framing my sign for me, so that'll finally get done. And I then had an opportunity to go and see Andrew at the sports clinic with Shane. So I had a treatment, and he has an amazing laser that will help reduce inflammation. So it works fantastic if you're suffering from any joint issues or muscle tension. Because of all the dancing I do, I have some muscle tightening, and so he's fantastic at helping me relieve that. Wendy and I did a BAM at her office also on Friday, because when I come into the city, I get things done.
Yes.
So we had a BAM, and she's looking at, we have these new sleeves with Alora, and so she's got something going on with her wrist, so she was checking that out. And what else did I do? I think that's it. I've got a BAM coming up this week on Friday with who was it that I had booked it? Anyways, I'll get back to you on that. Thank you, Tanya, for your presentation. It's always really important that we have these 10-minute presentations to give us more insight. And thank you, Mike, for asking Tanya, the prompting questions when we're talking to people, because it's not apparent. People don't necessarily come out and say, I need help in that area. So to be able to have questions that help us to find out if you would be able to help them, that's Fantastic. So thank you for that. And thank you, Mike, for the reminders of being a great member of Phoenix. And Dave, you need to find a replacement, buddy. Find somebody in the group that can represent you.
I'm sure you know people that like meat.
Yeah, I'm sure some of your customers would be happy to come and share.
Yeah, I'm sure they would.
Well, actually, Dave, since I'm a member of the my home chapter is the Bell's Corners, I can do infomercials for you on the Wednesdays to represent your business as a substitute, because I'm not a member of your chapter. Just keep in mind that all products will be free for the month of October.
Just gonna say, there's gonna be a catch to that.
Go, Mike, go!
Or a special rate, $5 a steak. I love those steaks. And over to you, Tony.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Bernie. Yeah, great presentation, Tanya. And what I find that when it talked about the blaming game is that it's like a racing baton thing, a baton racing. It's just, okay, it was his fault. Well, that was because it was this guy's fault that I didn't get the thing in time. Well, that's because, and it goes right down. I've seen 3 or 4 different stages of blaming because they couldn't get it done and they blame somebody else. So, yeah, it doesn't do anything because you still have the same problem. And now you just have people that are afraid to make a mistake, and you don't want that, you know. So yeah, great reminder. I had some business with Cindy, and had a BAM with Jacqueline there last week, and Susan McGarry and Dave. I'll try to. So you're leaving for next week or the week after?
Week after.
Week after?
September 11th, I fly.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll place an order there like within the next little while. Okay, cool. That's it, Bernie.
Hey, Tony. Tanya, over to you, ma'am.
Well, thank you, everybody, for your kind comments. Yeah, there are a lot of businesses are just still, if they're going back to normal and wanting to adopt the practices of, well, look, there's a million where you came from. Because of, as you had mentioned, there are some challenges out there, and getting good help. They're going back to the way a lot of businesses were run, according to Taylorism, which is another whole thing. But it was that's industrial revolution speak. So we can move on from that now. So I have had ongoing business with Steve Brennickmeyer and Ishmael, in order to try to get my website redesigned, up and running, so that I can get into a different place. So
how's that going? When is that going to be up? Any idea?
Well, that's a good question. It looks as though there were some miscommunications on that. I was hoping to have everything done by that webinar in September. So I'm hoping.
Okay. It just said I'll adjust your e-card like once that's live, so that it'll be front and center.
Yeah, we'll have to have a BAM about my e-card once that gets all done.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
Tanya, thank you so much. Really appreciated the conversation, and it is hard to shift habits. Whether you're at management or you're the worker, doesn't matter. We're all human beings, so that's the other key thing, because you own the company doesn't necessarily make you perfect. And if you think you're perfect, then you're not. So you're already pitched that, because you won't adapt and adjust. What's happened in my week? Well, we had a Friday session with Tony, come back from camping, feeling kind of zen, and then I kept getting more zen with Tony. Did a BAM with Tony on Monday and Joanne for golf, so getting things squared up. So there's more people signing up, which is great. And what was the other? There was one other piece slipped my mind. Later on. Oh yes. I think I've already mentioned the BAMs and doing the pictures and stuff like that. And if you have special events, that was it. Let me know. We'll post them. Okay. And turnaround time might be a week and a bit. So I'm heading out to Sudbury on Friday. So if you're expecting something by next week, go slow. Quote for the day: all endings are also beginnings. We just don't know it at the time. That's from Mitch Albom. And there you go, folks. We're at a wrap.
Okay. And